I was scrolling through Al Gore's internet on my mobile device, and I see the names Jay-Z and Pusha T attached to the Epstein files. I said, brother, what is going on here? Now, last night, there were drops in names in regards to the Epstein files in other areas of things that I discussed. Politics, sports, we'll get into that. But these, I said, wait a minute, what the heck is going on? Now, I saw some people report this and talked about it in the way that I think it should be talked about with the right information. And I saw others, well, Stan Wars, propaganda wars. So let's go into the documents together and see what the heck is going on here. Now, although this is Epstein files, I think the person that we have to point out here is also Harvey Weinstein. A lot of y'all are probably familiar with him. He's in the film industry. A lot of y'all probably remember his name during the Me Too movement. I know some of y'all are young, so I get it. But anyway, what this is, all right, is an individual called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center. Okay, so this is essentially, I don't know if you want to call it a tip, more so an accusation, but this was in 2019, okay? And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff redacted here, but they're giving you the required information and not giving you the victim's name, the alleged victim's name, I should say, right? So she says that in approximately 1994, she reveals herself to be a past victim of abuse by Epstein. She described the abuse occurring during parties. And then then she also says in approximately 1996, okay, an unknown man took her from her home and she woke up in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter. All right. So there you have it. Now, the FBI since 2019 did not take this information, go further with it. As you all know, Jay-Z wasn't charged with anything. So there is that. For me, I like to be very black and white with these type of issues. I know a lot of people are going into creating defenses for Jay-Z himself. I think that's Jay-Z's job. I don't care how much I like somebody's music. He's affluent, rich enough, powerful enough to either be able to gauge how serious this is, to think it's a load of crock pot. For me, I think, well, if someone can call and, drop this info to the FBI. It's up to the FBI before they let these documents get released to figure out if it's credible or not. And if someone is either making up something and they never called me, I never got arrested, then I probably don't have to deal with it. But he's a public figure. So if he sees fit to drum up something and say, hey, just want to give you a paragraph, this ain't got nothing to do with me, I don't know that person, I wasn't doing XYZ in 1996, that's Jay-Z's job, not mine. But it's up to me to use my brain and read and go, okay, well, what's the difference between this and anybody else writing the same write-up, right? Or calling the FBI with the same information, right? So that's that, all right? I'm going to go now to the Pusha T situation. The interesting thing here, this is the same individual saying that in approximately 2007, she attended a party with an invitation from an unknown man who approached her. Okay, now she's also putting Harvey Weinstein and Pusha T here together and saying that they also attended the party and then also assaulted her. Okay, she claims to have additional information on the person involved. And as you can see here, she says that she wasn't diagnosed with any mental illness, but she refused to provide a physical address, advising that she maintained no permanent address. Rather, she moved and stayed between different hotels. Okay? Now, same thing with Pusha T. I can like Pusha T and his brother's music all I want. It is up to Pusha T to say, hey, do I even want to entertain clarifying to people on this? Me personally, I would. But in such a way that I just want people to remind people it needs to come from me. I will let people know, hey, that's someone calling up the FBI. They can do that in XYZ years. I was not involved in any of these stuff. That's what I would do. But again, we're not the same. All right. So there is that. OK, now, I know this is not unique to rap, so I don't want to do this to y'all as rap fans. But I will point it out. And I will say that I'm not going to just try to single y'all out. I would just say we as a rap community. I don't know if the Stan Wars and the internet's got things even like worse, but I do find it interesting that as usual, anytime any information comes out with abuse and things like that, and women, potentially that were in danger or they need, retribution, whatever the case might be. I find that we are just more about, oh, this is another score. Like, let's add points for this person and take points up to that person. And, and I that's just not my thing. I don't bang like that. That's not what I do. I would like any woman that's been through anything, that is credible, not lying. I would like for law enforcement take it serious, look into it, right? And if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. If there's something there, people have got to pay for their crimes one way or another. Okay, I have read all of your stuff. I have read, 1996, Jay-Z was in the back selling CDs from the back in the trunk. In '07, Pusha T, I get it. Oh, this woman, y'all, some of y'all too, because you're pro Jay. And who really likes Jay-Z more than me? I'm very fond of Pusha T's music as well. Some of y'all started coming up with stuff on the women. I think the reality here, okay, like a lot of other stuff on this document, and what makes it worse, what really irks me though, I'm gonna show y'all one more thing. What really irks me though about the Justice Department and the way it is now, right, is like you can't even trust this for what it is, right? Is that on one hand, right, they're doing this both, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want to put documents out there that regarding Epstein. They want to put docs out there that paints certain people, particularly that are more liberal, a certain type of way. But when it comes to the other guy, their leader, right, they want to act like, oh, well, just remember, though, some of these documents are untrue and sensationalist claims specifically against President Trump. So everything else is true for everyone else. But for Trump, you know what I mean? So you need people that have great comprehension, can read and explain. I'm going to case through a lot of this stuff because, again, there's sports people, there's politicians, liberals, progressives, Republicans, conservatives, and I'm going to case through them because I talk about all three topics. But I had to get to this music one, and the music one was a little more, I felt like it was a little more damning because it was the one that had, when I say damning, I mean it's damning that y'all ran with it and portrayed it a certain way. It was the one that had a clear-cut explanation that, hey, this is just someone calling us and giving us this. This was not an investigation. This was not, and people still ran with it and made it a certain type of way. Okay? All right. I hope this is enough clarity for anyone that needed clarity or wanted to hear from someone they like, oh, you can break this down well. All right? Good talk.